But we weren't working alone. This was a joint effort. Yanni. Yes, her people, the faculty, constructed these walls in an elaborate system of pipes and reservoirs that tap into the waters. Their energy permeates the whole city and makes it habitable. I love this because I really love magic and technology fused together. I love it. Magic and technology harmonizing as one has always been something really fascinating to me in stories. The picture's getting much clearer, but why did you come here now? The system needs caretakers. My people are constantly monitoring it, and recently we saw some disturbing signals. I was sent here to investigate. So was Yanni. But the explosion occurred after you arrived. You failed to prevent it. The system is heavily protected against external influences and can only be managed from the central chamber. Whoever is sabotaging the city must have found it. Wait, so you can't find it? It's hidden. The builders decided to seal it off. When you showed me that cave, I was hoping that was it. But it's just one of the monitoring rooms. Apparently keeping it secret won't keep it safe in the long run. I agree, it seems poor judgment now. But who knew someone would try to destroy the city from within? It's suicidal. Even better, we must be dealing with a madman then. Thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate it. I feel better finally sharing it with someone. Especially a handsome someone like you, Kaz. Anyway, it would seem this whole investigation has been taken off our hands. We were upstaged by Yanni. And you lost your only way to kill time. Exactly, so what should we do while we wait for her verdict? Aren't you even slightly worried that we have no idea what caused the explosion and who killed Lev? Of course I am, but worrying won't change a thing, and I don't have any ideas. No magical remedy can fix the whole city. All of a sudden I feel so tired. He's dead and all I could do was... I get it. I wish I could still remain, but remember my first. Say, you promised me a drink, didn't you? I guess I did. Wait, are you allowed to drink? What if there's an emergency and you're drunk? I find the suggestion that I can't handle liquor slightly offensive, sir. Ha! I guess I'll give you some midnight pepper. I'll give you some midnight pepper leaves to chew on. This should help. Jay should keep you sober and alert. Ooh. My duty is just front, anyways. I do hope to have you have something other than herbal tea in that greenhouse of yours. I'm always prepared to host. Oh, are you inviting yourself back to my place, Kaz? So your invitation's still open? Yes, of course. Invite Kaz over? Yes, of course. I can't believe how empty my house is nowadays. I have almost no visitors. I didn't get to do any housewarming. There are still unopened bottles in the cabinets. Incredible. But watching you gives me a few ideas how to fix that. That's a vague innuendo for someone who's usually straightforward when talking about... Is it? How about... I want to have sex with you now. Wow, okay, that escalated fast. Finally, I was starting to think you would never invite me over. You know me, I hate to disappoint. Yay, hooray, we just witnessed a big major murder. Let's go jump in the sack together. Let's put that to the test. Oh. Whoa, wow. Make yourself comfortable. Just don't disturb the plants or touch anything on my desk. Don't worry, I know my way around. It's not the first time I was invited to the doctor's quarters. Really? Tell me, Captain, how many doctors have you gotten friendly with? Not as many as you might think, but my job isn't always as boring as it is nowadays. Sometimes I end up with a few bruises here and there. Here and there, you say? I'd love to give those places a special treatment. Wow. It's starting to get a little steamy here. Always the giver. So if Galen's the giver, does that mean that Kaz is the receiver? I can see that. I can see that. You have no idea. Oh my goodness, the game is going there. Is it time to play, Doctor? Yep, it's going there, everybody. I'll need that drink if I'm to survive your sense of humor. It's not that bad. Wine, brandy, or something stronger? Wine and a little something extra should do the trick. Here, bottoms up. Are you slipping something into poor Kaz's drink? Naughty, naughty, Dr. Galen. Did you just spike my drink? I sure did! Oh my goodness! Wow. Let me guess. I'm going to be paralyzed and left at your mercy. Quite the opposite. Amber Poppy relaxes smooth muscles. Your blood vessels dilate, flooding your brain with oxygen. The effects are mild euphoria and enhanced sensual pleasure. Wow! You gave him... Wow! You gave him... drug pleasure enhancements? Goodness gravy, I did not expect this from Kalen, but okay. I mean, maybe I should. He is a social butterfly after all. Amber Rush. Huh. So you know it. Know it. Feel it. Where were we? I'm trying to decide whether I prefer this to be a medical examination or criminal interrogation. I was kind of hoping for both. Oh, yeah? I was hoping we'd... Oh, wow! Okay! The tone of this game just went... Woo! Oh. Well. Yeah, that escalated pretty quickly. That escalated really quickly. What a hopeless romantic. Well... Ah, good to see you, Yanni. It's about time. So, who's the killer? What? Don't play dumb, girl. You need to name a killer if we're going to put this irritating case to rest. You do realize I only just saw the body. You can't seriously expect me to produce a verdict so soon. You're right. That wouldn't be believable. Is that all you care about? I need to put this behind me and get back to what's worthy of my attention. Discoveries don't happen on their own, you know. Discoveries? You mean astronomy? If you must oversimplify it, then yes. Your mind was trained to tackle technical minutiae. I'm taking on some of the greatest mysteries of this world. Or is solving a murder also beyond your level of competence? Such things require time. I haven't even slept after that ridiculous gathering. Me neither, yet I'm fine. Stop with excuses. Produce a believable culprit. Produce? Would this evening be a lax enough deadline for you? I don't suppose I have much choice. Not unless you want to admit to the murder yourself. So, fine. But we need to announce the verdict publicly. Make sure everyone gathers in the marketplace after the lamp switch to night mode. I'll share my findings. You want a spectacle? Why? Not all people are as immune to fear and doubt as you are. This town needs a public display of justice. They need to feel they're part of a group that can overcome its problems. All they've demonstrated lately is impotence in the face of a single saboteur. Perhaps, but this is about perception. If you want to restore confidence, this is the way to go. You make a convincing point. I'll order my guards to gather everyone in the marketplace this evening. Thank you. Make sure Sem and Kalen are there. So, it's one of them. Sem, I would expect. The man's a criminal and everyone knows he can't be trusted. But Dr. Kalen, what does he have to do with anything? Did something come up during Lev's examination? I can't reveal this to you just yet. Excuse me? Your reaction to what I say, be it surprise, disbelief, or anything else, has got to be genuine. I can be genuine whenever I want. Slava will know. Cassia might as well. And everyone will judge accordingly. If you want this problem solved, you need to find out at the same time as everyone else. Gah! I don't like it, but there's logic to what you're saying. Good job, Yanni. I'll keep my curiosity in check for now. Before I go... I'm beginning to feel annoyed. I need a decision, not an in-depth analysis. And that is what you'll get. Indulge me, please. All I need is an answer. I'm usually far less patient. Fine, ask, but be quick about it. What do I need to ask Istvan about? Oh, the initial I. His romance with Slava. I. Istvan does begin with an I. The chamber Lev died in. His romance with Slava. He's not going to say anything about the I if it's him. The chamber Lev died in. You have a relationship with Slava, don't you? So? Frankly, you have a motive. This would be offensive if it wasn't so hilarious. I'm afraid I don't see the joke. Lev was in no shape to be a partner to anyone, let alone a woman so wise and resourceful. She took care of him as if he was a child. I didn't understand their attachment, but it was important to her that I didn't intend to alter it. You mean to tell me you weren't jealous at all? Lev wasn't a man to be concerned with. He was more a memory, a sentiment. Slava hasn't had a lucid conversation with him in over 4 years, and they hadn't slept with each other in over 6. I did not need to know that. Was there a point to this conversation? Stop nosing around and do your duty. I know you're impatient. Let me just... No, enough is enough, girl. Do you take me for an idiot? Think I don't notice you're stalling? You have 1 day to find the culprit. Make use of it. And you better deliver a believable justification for your choice. Wow. Yanni, you're heading back. Does this mean you're done examining Lev's body? Who killed him? Shouldn't you be asleep? And why do you assume it was murder? I didn't assume anything. I'm merely showing polite interest. I'll stop now if it's that big of a deal for you. Me, caring about Lev. He could have hanged himself for all I care. How did you know he was hanged? I knew it. I knew that Wako could crack eventually. Was it Slava's romance that finally got to him? Or... Oh, I see. He wasn't hanged, was he? You just couldn't help but use a dead man as the butt of your joke. I'm sorry, you just made it too easy. My grandpa used to say you should judge a wolf not by its teeth, but by its prey. Again, sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Have a nice day. Fine, it's boring here in the dead season. This is the first thing even close to entertaining, so spill up. There's nothing to spill yet, I'm afraid. I'm quite sure the city will be fine, though. Why would you say that? There are 3 people determined to uncover what happened to Lev. Kalen, Cassia, and myself, each an expert in what we do. I imagine we should be able to deal with any problem. You misunderstand. Why would you have to assure me the city is safe? Did Lev do something to endanger it? We found him in a chamber nobody knew existed. It seems we gravely underestimated his knowledge. He was annoying, but he wasn't that smart. I'd say someone helped him, so at least one other person knows about that chamber of yours. One person can take a secret to the grave, but 2 people knowing it means it's not a secret anymore. Or that soon it won't be. You know what I'm getting at? So a hidden chamber appearing out of nowhere in the family's district doesn't surprise you. Nothing surprises me. Yes, I'm sure you've seen it all at the respectful age of 20. Gah, Yanni, stop with the condescending tone already. You don't need to be the sage of the north to know this place is full of secrets. There is one thing that interests me deeply, though. Who do you think did it? Could as well be you. What matters the city is... I still have no idea, but what matters the city is safe. But what matters is the city is safe. I will announce him soon. What matters now is that we should all be safe. Oh, so it was a man. No, that was just a figure of speech. No use denying it, Yanni. I heard your slip of the tongue. How reckless of you. Not only did you spill information, but you did it in front of a dangerous suspect. Did I now? If someone rounded up the usual suspects, I'd be the top of the list. I was a member of the tribes after all. We have a lot of reasons to blow the city up. We even tried. I thought you served your connection to the tribe. You severed your connection to the tribes. They don't take kindly to traitors, that's for sure. But I learned all the tales and legends. Lev asked about them until my ears bled. I could have killed him just to stop the questions. Oh, really? Was that a confession? Besides, the tribes think anyone getting too close to Kala deserves to be skinned alive and left to die. That's what my grandma used to say, at least. So, I guess I'm the easy target here. I'm glad I went for a drink at the inn that night. There's no harm in asking. Why is Kala a death sentence in the tribes? Why would the tribes punish someone who has gotten so close to Kala? Only a pure woman is worthy of witnessing such power. A pure woman? Sex has always been a huge taboo for us. Can you believe it? Why do you ask, though? Was Lev skinned alive? You know I can't tell you anything. Stop asking. by the ancestors. You have no clue who did it, do you? Look, I can't help you. I'm not sure I would even if I knew anything, mind you, but luckily I'm spared that decision. How kind. I'll give you a piece of advice though, and I don't usually do that, so stop sulking and listen. Don't vex Istvan. Excuse me? I'm sure you've heard stories. The sheer amount of gossip on him should make you think. He's ordered people, children, even infants killed. Sometimes for crimes they committed, sometimes for fancy. I don't mind. He always was an efficient ruler. But if you make a verdict he doesn't like, you'll suffer. Not to mention pointing to Istvan himself. But you wouldn't be that stupid, would you? Well, it might be Istvan. His name begins with an I. So I should lie, or sentence an innocent man? I said I can't help you. Then please stop wasting my time. I need to announce the verdict tonight, and I haven't set foot in my workshop since that dumb party. So pardon me while I go review actual evidence? As if that would change anything. New trophy, bedside manner. Just as I suspected, you're a kinky little monster. That, my dear sir, was but a glimpse of my kinkishness. I'm not sure that's a word. It is now. Spirits, that was intense. I need to rehydrate, and so do you. Did you choose to travel so far north, or were you banished for being a sex-obsessed maniac? Or maybe you ran out of new men to sleep with. These are all beautiful compliments. Sadly, none are true. Now stop trying to make me blush. Drink up. Thanks. I heard stories, of course. Islanders are supposed to be great lovers. At one city I lived in, men and women of your origin would charge small fortunes for their services. As they should. Lovemaking is an art my people hold in high esteem. Were you a regular guest to the pleasure houses? I visited plenty of them in my mercenary years, and later when I became a god. They tend to attract all sorts of shady characters. Sex requires imagination, and imagination demands freedom. As my mentor used to say, some people can only feel free when they have others in their power. That's the origin of all malice. I suppose that's one way to look at it. I also heard about your people's other gifts being linked to imagination. Is that true? You heard that? That's hardly a topic you discuss in a market. I'm guessing you read it in a book, but why would a simple guard study academic treatises on magic? Isn't curiosity a virtue? Sure, for scholars and explorers, not for mercenaries and foot soldiers. But what you read is only half true. The ability to conceive and visualize extraordinary scenarios is a prerequisite for all who attempt to master the craft. The stronger your ability to clearly imagine different possibilities, and the more flexible you are, the more potent your skills become. So that's how you bend reality to your will. It's like being a lantern, a green lantern. I wouldn't use that metaphor. Try seeing it more as negotiation, rather than forcing it to do your bidding. If you make a good impression and offer enough incentive, reality will become your helpful friend. Interesting. You make it sound like all your people do is conjure rainbows and nice weather. And what's wrong with that? Nothing. However, I had once the pleasure of meeting an islander in combat. The powers I witnessed weren't based on friendship and fuzzy feelings. An islander warrior away from home. They're not allowed to travel or use their arts in times of peace, and we've had no wars for almost a century now. He must have gone rogue. She, which made my companion underestimate her. The last act of stupidity in his short and violent life. She killed a man? But you survived. How? We dueled for some time. All I could do was to parry her strikes. It was astonishing how strong and swift she was, and her face had this eerie tint, you know, without emotion. There are potions that can have that effect, but as I said, their use is only permitted in war. What exactly happened? She lost control all of a sudden, went completely berserk. She made a mistake and I eventually managed to push her to the ground. I stood above her, my sword against her throat, and asked her to yield. She threw herself on my blade. Her face was blank, as if she felt no pain. Sounds horrible. She must have been addicted to battle potions or to battle itself. Either way, that makes her a rogue. We do not value aggression and only fight to defend ourselves. Judging by her gear, she was a mercenary, which probably makes her even more of an abomination among your people. Abomination? Oh no, just a fool who squandered her gifts and died a senseless death. Becoming a spell sword for hire? What was she expecting? A sellsword. Becoming a spell sword friar, was she expecting? Thank you, friend. You realize you're talking to an ex-mercenary. Is it wrong it turns me on? I apologize. I thought you were a thug. Is it wrong that it turns me on? Is it awfully wrong to find the image of you covered in your opponent's bloody innards strangely arousing? I don't see anything strange about it. Why do you think I became a mercenary in the first place? Fulfilling your darkest fantasies, I presume? Haha, don't push it. You have a sick imagination, Kalen. Hey, my untamed imagination is what makes me good at what I do. I'm basically paid to be depraved. But you're right about one thing. Killing people isn't the best profession one can choose in life. Why did you do it then? I've always been good with the blade and bad with money. I quickly learned there was no pleasure in taking lives, though. The only thing that satisfied me was using my skills to protect others. That's very noble. That's why I mostly took assignments from merchant caravans needing escort. Eventually I grew tired of the constant traveling and decided to settle down. So you moved to a city and became a guard to help those in need? Yes, I wanted to make a difference. And a warm bed. Well, hopefully the bed that you were in this evening was warm enough. And they call me an idealist. So, have you changed the world for the better? You might say I was being naive, but I genuinely believe that it was a bit of goodwill, smarts, and my keen sword. I would make the place safer for everyone. Instead, I came across vice and corruption, and I had no idea existed. The things people are capable of when they gain power or wealth? That city was a cesspool. Don't tell me you gave up without a fight. I tried, but the other gods were either broken, apathetic, or bought by the crime lords. When I refused their bribes, they tried to kill me. At least I disposed of some of them that way. But one can only sleep with eyes open for so long. Ah, I finally understand. You chose to escape to the far north and settle in a city where vice is law. That way no one, not even yourself, could blame you for giving up. Is that a professional diagnosis? Only if it's accurate. Unfortunately, no. I did escape, and I knew what people said about the Jewel of the North, but that's not all there is to it. What I hated the most was the constant pretending. The city was built on lies. And this one's built on what? Sincerity and goodwill? Hardly. You can joke about it, but it really makes a difference. This place is just as filthy and corrupt, maybe even more so, but at least nobody's denying it. Honesty is a virtue, even for criminals. Does crime exist if there are no laws to define it? Let's not get too philosophical about it. The only crime you can commit here is breaking your compact. Unless you're a member of the families, right? Even they prefer not to abuse the power too often. They need people to believe compacts offer a semblance of security. I see. There's very little left of your need for justice. Don't you understand? There can be no justice. I wasn't expecting you to have such a dark outlook on things. You seem very frank to me. Weren't you listening? Honesty is a virtue. Even someone like Istvan comprehends that. You're a complicated man, Kaz. Hope I didn't sound too morbid. I'm a big boy. I'll live. I'm sorry if I ruined the mood. Come here. Big boy. Don't worry, I'm fine. I don't need a hug. Really? I get the feeling that's exactly what you need right now. I don't need comforting. I think we both have matters you should attend to. What with the city facing imminent disaster and everything. The city survived centuries. It can wait another hour. A whole hour? Don't haggle. Are you there, kid? Is that who I think it is? I'm afraid so. He wants me to examine his eyes. I haven't got all day. You shouldn't keep him waiting, you know. You're right, I'm coming. Aw, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to accept the hug from Kaz. Please, come in. What took you so long, lad? A toddler like you should be perkier than... Oh, hello, Captain. Good day, sir. I was just leaving. Doctor? Thank you for your visit, Captain. You were extremely helpful. Well, Gale, looks like you succeeded where Constance failed. If I didn't know you well, I would think you were a spy. Maybe I am. You're no match for her bluffs, though. Enough dilly-dallying. I want you to examine my eyes. Okay, because I apparently spent a lot of time examining Kaz's eyes. Well, what's the diagnosis? Your eyes are fine. I haven't found any signs of deterioration. For a man your age, your sight is almost perfect. Isn't that just peachy? Too bad I can't see. Don't try and mask your incompetence with empty niceties. I gave you my medical opinion, and I stand by it. Your problems with stargazing clearly aren't caused by your physical condition. What else then? I double and triple checked the telescope, and there's nothing wrong with any of the lenses. Let's face it, Doctor. If we rule out my eyes and malfunctioning equipment, there's only one explanation left. Something's happening with the stars? You have to be less cryptic if you're expecting an answer. Don't play games with me, kid. It's the dome. Yeah, the dome. And you know it. I read your file. I know you were thoroughly trained in the crafts. You didn't come here to practice medicine and help the ailing. You were sent here by the little community my ancestors hired to build the city on top of the hot springs. No need to be coy. I'm certain you know precisely how to solve my problem. If you're so familiar with the ways of my people, you must also realize that I cannot disclose professional secrets. Oh, but you can, and you will. As long as you're a resident of the city, you're bound by compact. Which puts me under no obligation to reveal anything to you. Should I quote the main points of our agreement, sir? Nothing is set in stone. Excuse me? Didn't you know? Compacts can be amended by the bank, with or without the party's consent. Even you can't afford to make an enemy of my people. It wouldn't be prudent. Now, no need to threaten me. I trust we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement, just as our ancestors did. However, I advise you to be mindful of the fact that there's a deadly snowstorm raging outside these walls. Am I making myself clear? Crystal. Very well. As you probably know, the dome is impervious to light. The night sky we see above our heads is a projection put there by magicians for gods know what reason. They deemed it necessary for the inhabitants' well-being. If you're keeping people in a barrel, you might as well paint a pretty picture on the lid. Well said, but back to business. I ordered my astronomical equipment from your tribe and Yanni's people. That includes my telescope, which can somehow penetrate the dome and reach the starlight above. An advanced piece of craft and a mechanic art. And now completely useless. Would you care to explain this to a layman? The city system operates in cycles set by the waters which drive them. The night and day cycle, simulated by the artificial lighting, is one manifestation of that. The dome resonates in the same patterns. However, someone is disrupting them. My guess would be that when the saboteurs started their business, the systems managed to reset at first, but after a certain threshold was reached... Yes, spare me the details. What does any of this have to do with my telescope? Priorities. Everything. Seeing is based on light, which can be described as a wave, so our opticians... Doctor? In order to work properly, the telescope has to be synchronized with the city's cycles. It will have to be adjusted. Splendid. Take care of it now. Let's go to my study. Wait. I can give you something that should help. Temporary solution. But if the saboteur isn't stopped, the cycles will keep fluctuating. Yanni is taking care of that, so don't try to play the hero. What can you offer me? A crystal synchronized with the current cycle that you can install in the telescope. But I need some time to prepare it. How long? No more than 15 minutes. Kick back and relax. I'll fetch you some brandy. Don't be ridiculous. If you expect me to fraternize with my servants, you truly are a child. Prepare the crystal and deliver it to my quarters as soon as possible. Good day to you, too. You reek of lies. Yanni's investigation is just smoke and mirrors, but you don't really care about that, do you? We may all be dead by Solstice, yet the only thing this bee cares about is his spyglass. Ugh, I'll fix it for you. I'll fix it good. Ooh. Interesting. Great, first a dead body, then Yukon and her innocent curiosity. As if I didn't have enough problems already. What's that? Someone stuck an envelope in my doorframe. From Kalen? We must have missed each other. That's odd. I have uncovered something unbelievable. Let's meet in the warehouse below the bathhouse this afternoon. What afternoon? It's always dark in this sun-forsaken city. But I should have enough time to drop by Sem first. He'd better have a good explanation for the bite marks we found on Lev. I hope he does. Hello? Sem, are you awake? Kaz kept us at the bathhouse for a while. I'm still sleeping it off. Feel free to join me if you'd like. I mean, you look as if you could use a rest. I'm sure that's what you meant, but let's skip to the part where I tell you off for being cocky. I'm sorry to have woken you, but we need to talk.